a poll that I want to run for the whole live stream here. If I can figure it out, I will. Why does it? There it is. Start a poll. Question's going to be, oh boy, let's try that again. It's like I'm technically inept this morning. It doesn't like voice to text, guys. We're going to have to type this. How big of a question can I type? Sorry, guys, I'm struggling this morning. Okay, what should we call our community? Should it be My Wild Lifers or My Wild Ones? My Wild Fam Other. Let's start that poll. Morning, guys. Let's shrink that down on my end so I don't have to look at it and send it off to the corner of Never Neverland. There we go. We're back. Okay, sorry. I was hoping I could start a poll beforehand, but you know, I'm technically inept, so trying to go from private to public and back to private and blah, 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 it ain't happening. And Falcon says it should be from your heart. Well, I keep calling you guys, and there's girls in here. Can't all be guys. Gotta figure out what to call you guys. We are gonna start the stream off nice and saucy. We are going over to the goats, and we are going to, we're gonna go bottle feed little Frou-Frou. She's hungry this morning. Guys, last night, I posted a short. I was legit a little bit nervous. I came out here with my headlight to feed the goat at, 10:30 at night, and staring back at me out in the field was a pair of eyes, and it was standing probably shoulder high. So that leads me to think possibly a deer, possibly a bear, possibly a wolf. But the eyes were looking straight back at me, which makes me lean more towards a predator, which makes me lean more towards a bear or a wolf. Oh, look at the little fluff balls over here. Hello, everyone chewing at my ankles. Does everybody miss Daddy? Hello, guys. Okay. Let's get this over here. And Falcon says, I'm a man. Well, hello, Falcon. And Tong, how you doing, buddy? I'm trying to get the camera set up in a good position so we can feed a baby goat. Frou-Frou, where are you? Here you are. Oh, little baby Frou-Frou. Okay, settle down. I got a bottle for you. I got some food. Your belly doesn't feel empty though, so I feel like Mom's been feeding you a little bit. So Frou-Frou here is officially 2 weeks old. All these baby goats are officially 2 weeks old. And they were born here 2 weeks ago on live stream, guys. So if you guys want to see that, we live streamed the whole birth. It was pretty crazy, pretty epic. But little Frou-Frou here is the runt of the litter. She's got 3 brothers, and her brothers were all bigger than her. Mama only has 2 teats, so she wasn't getting enough food. So we've been supplementing her with a bottle. She spent about 3 or 4 days living in the house with us, and I got 3 of them chewing on my legs. What am I feeding her? I'm feeding her replacement goat formula. So it is a special blend of replacement formula for goats. I want to get her into a more comfy position. Give her a quick break there. Come here, Frou-Frou. Oh, there you go, little baby. Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. Normally I'd bend down on the ground to do this, but it's easier to talk to you guys while I'm standing. So little Frou-Frou here has been taking a supplementary bottle. She was living in the house for about 5 days, and then she had enough energy and was big enough that I felt she could come back out here. After about day 3, you want to be giving them the option for some grain and some hay. They're still 99% drinking milk, but they can start to stomach that. How many pets do you have? I have 9 adult goats, 4 goat kids right now, but a bunch of my adult goats are pregnant, so we are going to be having an army of goats here soon. And then we have 3 cows. We have a bunch of ducks, a bunch of chickens, a handful of rabbits. I had pigs. So this is my homestead. I also have a dog. I'm getting 2 donkeys at November 2nd. I believe November 2nd is the day we're getting 2 donkeys. One of them is pregnant, so she'll be having her baby on the homestead in the spring. And yeah, it's a lovely busy time. I'll give you a break. Give you a break. Oh yes, Frou. Okay. Your belly feels nice and full though. That's good. I want you to eat a little more. And Ab says, "Is this the same Rain Bradshaw from 90 Day Fiance?" And Rain says, "Yes, I am." Well, we have ourselves a... She says, "Yay, Rain! Wayne, there's a celebrity in our midst! Yay!" And Tong Tong says, "I want to see, man. So excited because I am an animal lover, other than snakes. We have wild snakes on the homestead too, no pets. And it's too cold right now. They're all hibernating. We're up here in northern Canada. Ah! It is... Okay, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're going to make the poor people think I'm hurting you. I know. She's not a fan of the way I'm holding her. She'd rather be on the ground right now. Here, let's put her down on the ground and show you guys the ground. And I will show you the other animals. There's a couple cows back there, but we will do the whole farm tour. Give me a second. Look at these guys, constantly climbing on my legs. Trying to get my tripod set up so it doesn't want to fall over in the hay. Trying to get this set up because the hay is not a very solid foundation. Alrighty, girl. Alrighty. Here. There we go. A little bit of comfort and freedom when you're on the ground. This is her happy place. She is not a bird. All the other goats are just trying to jump on me and climb on me. So because I was here for the birth, these guys are all going to be super friendly to me because they, I was hands-on with them. So the very first things they smelt was mom and me. So they're my little buckaroos. Are you all done? Yeah, you're all done. You're full. Hey, big guy. Look at this guy. This guy's a giant. Oh, compared to Frou. This guy is massive. Oh, and this guy's pretty cool too. This is our white one. Hello. The black cow is not the new one. The black cow I've had for 2 years. Oh, look at you and mama. Look at you playing with mama. Hello. I'm not going to give you guys any replacement for me. They're already too big. I'll come back and give you some treats afterwards, mama. Okay, we're going to set the bottle down. Let's go see the other animals. Okay, we got our dog out here with the cows. I only see one of the brown ones are the new ones. So Gabby's the black one. Oh no, I put the wrong shoes on. I didn't even put my mud boots on. What am I doing out here? It's so wet and muddy. Here are some goats. So here are some of our goats. And going back to the poll there, so far, people are liking my wild ones and my wild fam. So we've got a whole bunch of goats here. We got Mimi's looking pretty pregnant right there. I know Evie's pregnant in behind. And the question coming in from Familiar Flez says, what do you think is the hardest part of doing what you do? You know what? I love it. What's the hardest part? I mean, you're always building knowledge and gathering knowledge, but I love that. I wouldn't even say that's hard. I mean, when you're constantly building fencing and buildings and openings, we're going to be working on this one today. I would say the hardest part is that I've just had some health issues over the last couple of years, and this is a hard life. I had spinal surgery 8 weeks ago. About 2 months ago, I had spinal surgery because my back gave out on me. I had other health complications, other surgeries, and even when your health is failing you, the chores don't stop. The responsibility doesn't stop. You're taking care of multiple lives, and so even if you're struggling and suffering, you got to get it done. So I love what I do. It makes it a lot easier. There's a lot of building, there's a lot of troubleshooting. You're out here at minus 45, you're out here at plus 45. You're out here doing something every day. But I would say the hardest part is that no matter how you're feeling, you don't get to take a break. Whether you're hurting, whether you're sick, whether you're puking, whether you're broken, you got to get out here, you got to get stuff done. And is your dog a golden retriever? She is a yellow lab golden retriever. So here are some of the cows. So Gabby here is a black Angus. She's a black Angus. And Bernadette and Bobby here, the two brown ones, are Gelvies mixed with Shorthorn. So they are Shorthorn Gelvies. Now I came out here last night, guys. It was pitch black and I had my headlight on, and I like to do a little scan of the field just to make sure everything's kind of kosher and safe. We do have coyotes and wolves and bears and stuff. And even though I come out here with a headlight and I'm looking to see if anything's out there, it is still super disconcerting when you see glowing eyes staring right back at you. Right on that tree line back there, standing probably shoulder high, I saw two glowing eyes. And I thought for a second maybe one of the cows had gotten out. And so I went to the barn and I went and checked, and all three cows are in the barn. And so whatever that was, I leaned towards a bear. I'll have to go check later to see if I can see any tracks. It is that time of year. It's the fall. You know, we've got lots of grass out here, lots of fields. The bears do like to try to get into these fields to try to fatten up before the winter. And the problem with bears is they, you know, A, can just plow through the fences, and B, if they can't find the food they want, they'll come and take it. And these guys are not meant for bears. And Tong Tong says, dude, you are living my dream. And Familiar says, raise those fences, bro. I think you guys really should. I got to straighten them out a little bit, but they're about 4 feet tall. It's a non-issue. The cows aren't going anywhere. The donkeys, they might be a little bit troublesome, but so far so good. The whole fenced in area is surrounded on the other side by electric fencing. So this is just my winter yard. The whole back field, all the way back there, is my year-round field. And I've got the electric fence up. It's fine. I've got the 6-foot fencing over here, which just looks super janky compared to the 4-foot fence. But hey guys, let's grab. We're gonna grab a handful of this straw to give to the goat in captivity. I'm gonna steal some of this from you. Oh. Okay, we're gonna give this to the goat that has the babies. This is for Oreo. We're also gonna give her a bunch of grain, high protein grain. It's good for her while she's nursing. Good for milk supply. There you go, guys. Have some of this. I know that's not the treats you want. I'll go get you treats. Let's go. I'll let the chickens out and I'll get you guys treats. Okay, we're gonna sneak around and we're gonna go grab. We're gonna go let the chickens and ducks out. We'll get the eggs later. We'll let the rest of the chickens and ducks out, and then we'll grab some grain for treats for everybody. It'll be a feeding frenzy. Everybody loves grain in the morning. A little bit of a sugar and energy boost. And Familiar says, are you vegan by any chance? I did just say I was gonna go and collect the eggs, so I don't think that makes me vegan in the slightest. No, a lot of these animals, the animals here are primarily for milk, which gives us, you know, cheese and yogurt, for eggs. Whoa. The cows though, the cows are raised, they are breeders. So we raise the cows so that we can have their babies and eat their babies. So not vegan. We also do hunt. So if that bear becomes trouble, the bear we spotted last night, I think it was a bear, he'll be feeding our family. Let's just say it that way. Okay. We're gonna let these chickens out of here. So it's always fun because they all come running out all at once. There's only a couple in this one because the rest snuck into the duck enclosure, which I'll give you a view of the duck enclosure because they're all about to come out of the log cabin. Come on out, guys. I don't know if the ducks are gonna want their ramp down or if they're gonna come out without the ramp. You guys gonna come out without the ramp, or do you need me to put the ramp up? You need the ramp up, don't you? The ramp is so dirty. There you guys go. Come on out, guys. Yeah, I gave you the ramp. They are bougie. They say, Daddy, I don't want to get my feet all muddy. Oh, Dad, wipe that off on my hands, my pants. So I'll come back out here later to collect eggs, but let's take a look and see what we got today. Oh, we got a mama sitting on some eggs right there, but there's one there. They normally lay their eggs a little bit later, so I'm sure she's sitting on an egg right now. She's laying one right now. Oh, 2, 3, 4 eggs. But we'll come back and harvest those in a minute. Let's go get some treats. How is our food dish? Oh, our food's full. Good. Water? The water's full. Good. We got an easy job this morning. Everything's full from last night. Good. Yeah, that rooster is beautiful. Yes, Horntail. He can get a little aggressive. He's a little iffy. Horntail was debatably on. Here's our 2 roosters. We call this guy Horntail, and this guy is Houndoom. Houndoom after the Pokemon. But Horntail was getting a little bit aggressive with the kids. He was getting a little pecky and flappy, and he was kind of scratching at them. But I think when he realized that I was talking about potentially eating him, he calmed down. So we'll cross that road when we get there. Let's grab some grain for the goats and the cows, and we'll grab a nice healthy bucket and distribute it accordingly. So 1 second, I just gotta grab a bucket from right here. Okay. We'll grab some grain from the grain bin. So this is a bucket of grain. It's a bunch of corn, seeds, grain seeds. Just a nice little healthy dairy mix. You could also take care of our rabbits this morning. Let's go check on the rabbits. Do they ever attack you? The rooster, nobody's ever attacked me. Guys, you're gonna let me in though. You're gonna let me in. Everyone is so excited by the grain. I'm gonna give a little bit to the goats here first, and then I'm gonna go to the cows because the cows love it. Okay. There you guys go. Gabby's coming in hot. And let's give you some, because you're the one who really needs it. And for everyone else, hey, you two. So let me flip the camera around, guys. Sorry. Let me flip the camera around. There we go. So these two have never had grain before. I just got these 2 cows last week, and they weren't grain fed, so they don't really know what all the hype is. They don't know why everybody's chasing me with a bucket. So we're just gonna throw them a couple of handfuls so that they kind of get the idea. There you guys go. Go enjoy. Oh, try to enjoy that, guys. Look. All these guys are loving it. All on his head. Sorry, Oreo. And Pin says, feed them grass, not grain. What do you think the fields are made of? Grain is treats. And Gabby loves it. Gabby loves it. Gabby loves it. Hi, Gabby. I already got rid of everything in the bucket though. Sorry, the bucket's empty. The bucket's empty, Gab. It's empty. It's empty. I'm sorry. It's everywhere. Okay, guys. I gotta like huck the bucket. I gotta get rid of the bucket because everyone's gonna attack me. I gave the mom, so the mom with 4 babies, I gave her a handful of hay, but she really needs the grain because it helps with milk supply, because it's gonna put on extra calories, help her fatten up, and you want that. For the other animals, we just give it as a little bit of a treat because we don't want fat animals. But the mom needs it. The mom needs it. Okay, let's get rid of the bucket so that everybody stops following me. I already put it on the ground, guys. Eat what's on the ground. We're gonna sneak around. We're gonna sneak around and go back in to see mom because there's a couple rabbits in this area that we need to take care of. Okay, where are you? So this one needs some food. So we got Snow over here. Snow needs some food though, so we got to sneak into Snow's enclosure. Okay, Snow, I'm coming in. Snow, off. Okay. I gotta keep everyone else out. Here's snow. We'll lower the tripod a little bit, it'll make it easier to stand up. And Tong Tong says, dude, you have a beautiful farm. Thank you, I appreciate that. We certainly try to give everyone the best possible life out here. You have so much food on the ground, you just keep flipping your bowl over, eh, Mama? There you go. And the water is still full, so that's good. Okay, how about you guys? Is your guys' food, your food still good? You still got quite a bit in there. You're good enough till later. I'll go feed the other ones. You need more water soon. I'll get you more water. I'll get you more water. Okay, let's close up the bucket. We got to bring the bucket with us because we got to go deal with a couple other. One more. Do I? Are there no other rabbits out here right now? I might not have to. I think my wife might have put them all in here for now. Bear with me, guys. You got to crouch your head and try not to bang your head off the roof rafters. Okay. Okay. So I built all these buildings, pretty rough and dirty. If I had to give anyone advice who is starting this over, if I was starting over from scratch, I would say, give yourself lots of headroom. Way too often I build these buildings where it's like, okay, so I got a 4-foot pony wall over there and I tied in at 8 feet up here. Nice little slope, good for the snow drains right off. But I gotta duck my head every time I go in there. It'd be nice if I would've went 8 feet and 12 feet. I could've went 12 feet and 8 feet. Oh well. And Tong Tong says, dude, talking about your spine injury, how are you feeling? How is your health? Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm doing pretty good. I'm stiff this morning. I've been, I'm still healing. I got another 4 months. I got about 4 more months of healing, but I don't got the patience for it. So I'm starting to move around a lot more, do a lot more. I'm going to be doing a lot of carpentry today. I was doing a bunch of carpentry last night. We are getting our winter chicken coop ready. You guys probably can't see. No, my breath is showing on my end. You guys probably can't see on your end. But, and you'll see the babies are starting to eat the grain as well, guys. So that's good. That's going to give them a lot of energy and a lot of fat. Let's grab a handful here and just give it over to Fufu. Here, Fufu. This grain is special just for you. Okay, we'll give Fufu some. Anyway, I'm doing good. I'm just a little stiff, a little sore, but healing. It's a healing journey. And let's close up this gate. Got to close the gate. Yeah, I think we're okay. So these cows here, because they're only been on the farm for about a week and they came from a herd, they're not as used to people. Gabby here, I can walk behind her. I can give her pets on the back. She's drinking some water. These guys slowly backing away. They're not as sure of me yet. They'll get there. I gave one of them a gentle pat last night. Didn't run away, but I don't want to pressure them too much if they're feeling uneasy about me walking up on them. But I want them also to be used to me. Hey. No, it's okay. Okay. I'll leave you guys be. You guys stay nice. Beautiful morning out here on the homestead anyway. And Keith says, good morning. And Tong Tong says, it's good to keep yourself busy, but take care. I will. Don't worry. I will do my best to not overdo it. I can't say I won't overdo it because I probably will, but I'll do my best. Hey girl, you got stuff all over your head. What are you doing? You want to eat it? No? Oh, good morning, Mimi. Good morning. I think Mimi's the next to have her babies. She's probably still, looks like she only has 1 or 2 in her though. Maybe only 1. She might only have a singleton. Last time she had babies, she had 2. So she's not carrying super wide, but I think she's gonna have her babies sometime in the next month. I give her a month. What do you think, Mimi? Beautiful day out here anyway. What do I got to do next? We need to fill up that one water. I said I was going to fill up that water for that rabbit. I'm going to show you guys how I deal with water out here. This works for about 90% of the year. When we get into a point in time when it gets down to minus 40, even this freezes up. But this is my automatic waterer. I tied it into my well, so I ran water lines out to it. It does freeze up in the coldest of winter, but it works for most of the year. I just use a little hand pump out of here. It refills because it's on a toilet float. And we'll set that down. There we go. I got a bucket of water, nice and easy. And then I can just walk this over to the animals. So I can give this fresh water over to the rabbits, a little bit to the goats. The goats need a little bit as well. So do a precarious balancing act, trying to carry a tripod and open a door with a water bucket on it. Set you guys down right back there. Close this, make sure nobody's in the door. We'll give a little bit of water here to you guys. And a little bit over here for these rabbits. And I'd probably like to dump their water and give them some fresh stuff. So I'll dump this and give them some fresh water. Hello, rabbits. Hello, Simba. Oh, there you go, Simba. Let me give you some water in there. Okay, let's. This is Simba because he's got part lion's head in him, and he's got that big old mane. There you go, some fresh water. I don't spend as much time with the rabbits as I do with the other animals just because I'm allergic to them. However, let's spin you guys around. Even though I'm allergic to the rabbits, doesn't mean that I want to get rid of them. Two of my sons and myself are very allergic to the rabbits. My nose is already running. But my wife was saying, maybe we should stop doing rabbits. Maybe we shouldn't have rabbits on the homestead. You know, you guys are all allergic to them. And, you know, maybe we should just do something else. I'm like, I love having the rabbits on the homestead. Couple of things. One, they're adorable. So there's that. They're really, really pretty. Two, they produce a lot of babies, which we then resell or eat. And so they're a great source of protein and money. And yeah, I just, I don't know. I like them. I like them too much to get rid of them. They're one of the best. Oh, there's a chicken egg in there. We're gonna go collect that chicken egg. They're one of the best beginner homestead animals, I would say. Get yourself some rabbits. Hello, there's 3 eggs in here. What are you guys doing? And is Mama still in here? No, just you. So there is Mama still out there. I gotta go take care of Mama. My wife had put one of our females in here. My wife had put one of our females in there for a couple weeks, or a week to breed. So one of my females was in there, but she's not anymore. So that means I do have to go do her water. She must be in the other hutch. And Vivian says, I couldn't not eat something so cute like rabbits. You couldn't not? You would have to? I feel like you're trying to say you couldn't eat something so cute. By saying I couldn't not eat them makes you sound like an animal. They're just so cute, I have to eat them. It can be a touchy subject for those who are not homesteaders, but keep in mind, these animals have a great life. Look at this. They're not commercially farmed animals. They're not stuck in pens. Lily! My ducks are not happy with my dog right now. Lily! I gotta let you out of there. Don't chase the ducks around. I didn't realize she snuck in behind me and I kind of locked her in with the chickens and ducks, and that's way too tempting for her. So let's go let Lily out of there. And rabbit laid eggs? You know what? The Easter Bunny is real, guys. The Easter Bunny is real. Because I let my chickens free range, they go everywhere and they'll lay eggs everywhere. Come on, Lily. Lily. Good girl, Lily. Hi. Hello, Lily. Now you can stop terrorizing everybody. Okay. Here's what we're doing next. We're gonna grab our egg basket. We're gonna take the eggs out of my pocket before I break them. We're gonna put them in the egg basket and we'll go collect the rest of the eggs. But yeah, so every once in a while the chickens will lay eggs in the barn. They'll lay eggs in the duck house. They'll lay eggs with the rabbits. They just they find nice, warm, cozy spots to hang out and do their thing. Lily, you gotta stay out here, man. Okay. Whew. Let's grab this. It's nice and warm in here. I got a fire going. Okay, gotta take the eggs gently out of my pocket before I break them. Set them in the basket. Okay. 3 down. Let's go get more. Let's go get more. And Kevin had said, hello from Nebraska. Hello, guys. If anyone has any questions or concerns, feel free to chat. I know I miss some of them while I'm doing farm chores. It's hard to read every comment while I'm doing farm chores, but I do try to catch them. If I miss something that you really want to know the answer to, just ask again, guys. And Debbie says, eating to live is quite humane and giving a great life. Then thanking them for giving you sustenance is living godly. I think I got that. Sorry. Yes, I'm of the mindset that as long as you are taking very good care of your animals, you're treating them kindly, you're being a nurturing and loving human, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, if you are raising animals in an unhumane way and you're not being nice to them, and in fact, if you don't like your animals, you know, there's people who do things like they have chickens and they hate chickens, but I hate the chickens, but they give me eggs and whatever. And they treat them poorly. They treat them miserably. You know, people, I hate goats, but they milk them. You shouldn't have animals. If you don't like them, don't have them. Because you got to treat them with love and respect. They are one of God's. Oh, I dropped one. That one is now one for the chickens to eat. Look how fast they're. These cannibals. You cannibals. I killed one of your babies and now you're eating it. Don't worry, they're not fertilized right now. If they are, they're not big enough to be anything. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I failed you. I failed you. I do have a YouTube video going live talking about how if you heat the eggs back up. So let me take a couple steps back here and straighten out my thoughts. One good use of your eggshells after you eat the eggs, after you cook the eggs and you eat them. One thing you should do, like you'll see, these guys are going all over it right now. These guys are all eating the egg I just dropped. So one of the things you should do, take the shells, break them up into smaller pieces. The problem with them eating them like this is it's too much like an egg, and they realize they like eggs. They start pecking at their eggs. That's why I have some golf balls hiding in there, golf ball, so that they peck at it and nothing happens, and they realize, oh, I shouldn't peck at this. But if they realize that the egg is too much like an egg, they might start trying to eat the eggs because they like the extra calcium. They like eggs. So what you should do, crush the eggshells up, heat them on a frying pan to 200 degrees. That's going to kill off any bacteria, and then feed them back to them. That added calcium is going to give your chickens better health, and it's going to help them lay better eggs because the eggs are going to be harder because they rely on that calcium. Otherwise, if you notice you have soft shelled eggs or eggs that crack or break easily, and you haven't got to the point where you're getting good eggs to feed the shells back to them, get some oyster shell supplement. One of the things I do is I collect during the summer, it's a fun thing I do with my kids. I have a beach on the south side of my property. We go to the beach and we collect clams, little clam shells. Not the live ones, the dead clam shells where it's just an empty shell. We collect all those. I bake those and take the hammer and break all those up. They are also made out of calcium carbonate and also can be fed to the chicken. So it's a fun way to kind of get your calcium supplement without spending any money and just having fun with the kids. Now we're gonna go into the duck house and see if we got any duck eggs, which we do. We do. So far, we're only getting a couple duck eggs a day. There's one of them. There's a chicken in there, so I definitely have... the ducks have just started laying their eggs. So normally duck eggs would be bigger than chicken eggs, but because the chickens have been laying eggs for a couple months, the duck eggs are quite small. They're just starting. So there's gonna be more eggs under here because this chicken just came out of here. Nope, there's a golf ball in there. That's not an egg. What about, there's a chicken on an egg in here for sure. Okay, bear with me, guys. I'm sorry, I'm taking you out of your house because I want to eat your eggs. I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't be too mad at me. You haven't laid it yet? Okay, okay. You just keep doing that. You haven't laid any eggs yet? You hide. You hide. You hide. I probably made her quite angry. This is the log cabin I built for the ducks. But I need to build the I'm gonna work on finishing the chicken coop today. Oh boy. Let's sneak around and go look at. So this is their summer coop. I'm gonna spin it today. I'm gonna spin it 90 degrees so that it's shaped the same as this one. So this is the winter coop that I'm working on. It's not done yet. Put a south-facing window in it. I've got to build the door. And then on the inside, let's show you guys what we've done. On the inside here, I need to insulate the back wall. I need to insulate the back wall, the side wall. The front wall is already done and the roof is done. So I just need to insulate these two walls, this wall. And then I need to build out some nesting boxes and some perches. Chickens don't like sleeping on the ground, so I got to build them some spaces up high. So I'll build a bunch of nesting boxes and then some perches. What I'm also going to do, I'm going to spin this other one sideways so that they're facing the same way. And I'm actually going to cut a hole out in the back wall. So I'm going to cut a little hole out in the back wall right there and connect the two. And that way, if they want, they can go out into the cooler yard. So they'll have the warmer yard where there's going to be heat lamps. Well, heat pads. I don't like using lamps because they're a fire hazard, but there'll be heat pads. But then they can also tunnel through to the other yard, this one over here, especially on those warmer days. Out here in Canada, it does get to minus 45, but we also get those odd days where it's closer to like minus 5 in the winter. And, you know, it's plenty warm enough for them to come hang out in the yard, cool down a little bit, stretch their legs, give them a little more room to move. On particularly warm days, they can come out in this whole yard, but you don't want their feet and stuff getting frostbite. You don't want to have any issues. So let's go bring these eggs inside. As much as that sun is out here, it is chilly. It's chilly. We're probably around 1 degree Celsius, 32, 33 Fahrenheit. The ground is crunchy, but not frozen. Okay, let's sneak our way back here and then I'm gonna catch up with the chat. You know what we're gonna do, guys? I'm gonna take you into the house. I'm gonna make a coffee while I wash these eggs and we'll chat. I'll focus on the chat. One thing, we're just gonna be puttering and doing stuff all day. I gotta work on that coop today. I don't know if I'll do that during live stream, but that's something I definitely need to work on. Yeah. I also have a buddy coming down at some point with a drone. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow or today, but he's gonna come by with a drone. I'm gonna get a bunch of nice aerial shots of the fields, of the forest, of the beach, of the property line. Because I'd like, to be able to use that as B-roll in some of our long form videos, but also it'd be cool to make a video to show you guys exactly what this property is. I have 156 acres off-grid in northern Canada. Moose antlers on the building. You know what's up. Beautiful lake back here. This lake goes all the way around. It's a peninsula. One of the other things I gotta do, holy man, if I didn't have spinal surgery, life would be so much easier. I have to start splitting all this wood that I've cut up. All this wood. I have my winter's worth of wood. But I need to split it all. And, you know, I had spinal surgery 8 weeks ago, so that's a tricky biscuit. Then I think what I'm gonna do this year with my firewood, so I've got my totes over here. I'm actually gonna stack them with the top one facing the deck so that it's easy to grab my firewood right off the deck. And then I can just rotate them down, pull the empties up, put the full ones up higher once they're empty. So that's gonna be the plan. But I gotta cut and split all this wood. I was thinking about pulling out the Alaskan chainsaw mill and maybe milling some of this lumber, some of these bigger ones like this. But I don't know. Again, I had spinal surgery. I wish I didn't, because I could be so much more useful right now if I wasn't still healing. And yes, the view is fantastic. I mean, it's hard to get a better view than this right off my deck. And let me just jump you guys up. And Vivian says, can you post after you finish the winter chicken coop? Absolutely. I can do after build a tour of the chicken coop and maybe tell you guys some of the things that work really well and some of them that don't. One of the things is I don't like following cookie cutter guides. I don't like kind of following what other people are doing. I like to just get creative with it. One of the things I want to do on the outside of that coop, my duck house, I made log cabin style, as you guys saw. It's built button pass method, log style. I cut all those trees down. I hauled them all out of the bush. I debarked all of them, stacked them all, and spiked them all together. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. So this chicken coop, because I had this spinal surgery, we just wanted to get it done quicker. I just did normal 2x4 lumber and just framed her up quick. But on the outside, because it's got to match the vibe of the log cabin, the outside, I'm going to use the Alaskan chainsaw mill, rip a bunch of logs, and then pin that up as siding so that it at least has that log cabin feel, even though it's not actually built as a log cabin. The duck house is proof of concept that I can and do that. But the other one is just easier and quicker and dirtier. Let's sneak in. Now, I need to warn you guys, my house is a bit of a disaster right now because I was doing some fun projects. I have a wife and 5 children, but they are out of town for the weekend. And so I wanted to surprise them by installing some backsplash behind the wood stove and the kitchen. But because of that, the house is a disaster. So it's not done yet because I had to take a break after last night, but I'll show you guys what I'm working on. I'll show you guys. Don't mind the mess. Don't mind the mess. So it's not done yet, but this is going to be behind the wood stove. This faux brick backsplash. I gotta square up this wall, and I'm gonna put a trim piece up. I think what I'll do is I'll take a piece of wood there and trim it up, make it look pretty. And then I'm also doing the backsplash back behind the kitchen here. So this is also not done, but that's gonna tie in behind the fireplace in the kitchen. And so everything's a disaster because I had to pull everything off the counter and everything's just kind of chilling everywhere. So sorry for the mess. Let's heat up some water because I need some coffee. And then we'll sit by the fire for a second while this is heating up. How much water do I have in the kettle? I really should have just had the kettle on the wood stove. That would make way more sense. We need to add a little bit of water. And then let me talk to you guys about my life. We are at my off-grid homestead. This is where I live. I'm up here in northern Canada. And yeah, this is our off-grid homestead. You're going to notice I don't have any lights or anything on because I'm trying to use as little electricity as possible. Don't mind the mess. Okay, let's have a quick seat. Oh, there we go. We're working on it. The light is coming in awkwardly here. Let's try to get you guys set up. Okay. Tyrannic Cult says, be sure to feed the giraffes and the Komodo dragons. They're actually pretty self-sufficient. That's why we raise the goats. The goats are there to feed the Komodo dragons. You got to give your dragons a blood offering every 6 months. So, you know, it actually works out really well. The gestation period for a goat is 5.5 months. So if you can get them breeding on a staggered cycle, you can have a dragon sacrifice when the time comes. And that way you don't have to get rid of your firstborn child. I have 5 sons. I raised 5 children, and that way if I ever run out of goats, I can buy myself a couple more years. And yeah, it works. It works. It's a good system. You know what is interesting, guys, talking about dragons on a more serious note? It is fascinating how many cultures have dragons in their culture. And you know, it's so easy for humans to discount dragons as just like fantasy and mythology and just fabrication. But it's interesting to think that it's possible. We believe in the existence of dinosaurs, so why not dragons? We think that dinosaurs and humans didn't cross time at the same time, but we know that alligators were around when dragons were around. We know that chickens are descendants of dinosaurs. So if alligators, crocodiles, and that have survived, and different aquatic life have survived beyond the era of dinosaurs, why not dragons? Why not dragons? It's just a thought. And if you as a civilization got so advanced that you could survive all the predators, you now had your stone walls and your spears and your bows and your arrows and your catapults and such, maybe the dragons become less of a threat, but they're still a threat, and so you kill them all off. So you got all these stories, Saint Brendan from 400 AD, Saint Brendan, 460 AD. There's a story of him slaying a dragon. Now, the dragon was in the ocean, so arguably more believable, but just a thought, just a crazy morning thought while I'm sitting out here on the homestead collecting dinosaur eggs. I gotta wash those as well. But At says hi. Hi, At. How are you doing? You guys are quiet this morning, guys. Feel free to chat. Give me something to talk about. Otherwise, you're gonna hear me rambling about dinosaurs and dragons. What did I do? I left the chicken eggs down by the door. Okay, so we only got one duck egg this morning and only a handful of chicken eggs, but the chickens actually typically lay their eggs during the day. We interrupted one chicken that was in the process of laying her egg. So what I find with our particular chickens is that our chickens tend to lay most of their eggs during the day. And so when I do a morning harvest, I'm really collecting yesterday's eggs. And then, Shelby says, OMG, a normal live. Hey, I was just talking about feeding my children to dragons. So let's not say I'm normal, but much more normal than the guys who are pulling floss through their nose and filing down their teeth and wearing a toilet on his head. What is that guy all about? I know you guys have seen him. If you've spent any time on the internet, you've seen the guy who wears a toilet on his head. And I think it's really sad to watch people who try to entertain through such severe levels of self-deprecation. It's got to be terrible for their mental health. These guys really, I feel bad for them. I honestly do. I'd rather be out here collecting chicken eggs and trying to teach you guys a thing or two than just sit here pouring syrup on my face. I get it. The Dudesons, Jack Butt, you guys know what I'm talking about, Steve-O, those guys. I get it. They kind of normalized and popularized that self-harm thing for entertainment. But I don't know, guys. I don't think that's why you guys are here. Horses are my friends, says, God bless you. Exactly. Keep on going. 4567 said hi. Weston's in the chat. Hey, Weston, how you doing, buddy? And Liam says hi. And Shelby says, oh boy. Gotta turn the kettle off. Shelby had said, I've said worse about my boys, but I'm traumatized from prior videos. Well, if you guys are looking for a wholesome place to hang out, you guys are looking for someone who's, just living that off-grid homestead life, this is your place. If you guys are looking for some back-to-roots normality, if you're looking for a place where you are just sick of the internet doing internet things and you want to just have something kind of more wholesome and chill, subscribe. This is your place. This is the place where we're not doing crazy things for attention. We're just real people hanging out with real people. That's what it's all about. We're making some coffee because, it's the morning and I haven't had any coffee yet. So if you guys think I've got energy and I'm hyper now, just you wait. We're actually going to add some polypore mushrooms to our coffee. And I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about that. So let me grab down some polypores, which are right here. I'll keep them on my fancy-dancy shelf. I'll show you my shelf of pride. This is my kind of kitchen area. I've got a little bit of everything. I've got some different naturally collected herbs and medicines. This is yarrow. We've got some rose hips, and these are polypores. Pablo, how you doing, Pablo? I see your name is now Cortel. How you doing, buddy? Saludos, my friend. Saludos, my amigo. This is polypore mushroom, specifically birch polypore. I'm going to add this to my coffee. Now, I'm calling it a mushroom, but it's technically a fungus, but it sounds really weird when you say I'm drinking fungal coffee. So we're going to call it mushroom coffee. The polypore is a type of fungus that grows, this specific one, on birch trees, which is why it's called a birch polypore. It grows in a horseshoe shape. It's flat white on the bottom and tan brown on the top. The birch tree is like a magic tree. I love the birch tree. The birch tree provides me with birch water, birch syrup. You get chaga. Some of you guys might have heard of chaga. And you get birch polypores. Not to mention a bunch of other mushrooms have a symbiotic relationship with a birch tree, and the root structure actually intertwines. The mycelium starts stealing or consuming nutrients off of the birch tree in order to do its thing. Now the birch polypore, the little things that I just added to my coffee, these guys, the birch polypore, it's a known medicinal polypore, a known medicinal fungus. What it does, anti-inflammatory, it's immune boosting, it's antiseptic, and if you did have any parasites, it's anti-parasitic. This stuff is actually really good for a lot of things. There was a guy, I made a video about this called the birch polypore, but basically, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Otzi the Iceman, O-T-Z-I, Otzi the Iceman. He was recently discovered. He was frozen in a glacier. We estimate about 5,000 years ago, frozen in a glacier. And around his neck, he actually had a necklace with birch polypore mushrooms on that necklace. And so there's a couple things. One, they think that maybe in his intestine tract, he maybe had some parasites, maybe a sore stomach. This helps with that. This would help with a sore stomach, especially back then when you're eating, you know, your hunter-gatherer. There's a higher chance of getting some parasites. Marlowe giving us the extra context. He was discovered in 1991. And so the birch polypore, not only is it good for gut health, it's also a good medicine. So you can grind this up and use it as a bit of a poultice on a wound. So if you get a bad cut because of its anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties, you can grind it up into a paste, put it on your arm. You can actually take strips of dehydrated, I'll show you guys, I've got some. So you can take a strip of it like this, and you could take this and then put it on your wound, and it soaks up blood very well. And then becomes flexible, and it makes as a makeshift bandage. So the birch polypore, awesome little mushroom fungus. It can save your life. It can save your life. If you're in a bushcraft survival situation, it's just nice to know about it. It just has a normal mushroomy taste, nothing too good, nothing too bad. I like to drink it with my coffee because I'm gonna drink coffee anyway. And yeah, so there you go. I drink mushroom coffee. We're gonna add some instant coffee to my coffee and drink said coffee. So we put in our little mushrooms in there, just a couple cubes. You don't need a whole bunch, just a couple cubes floating around in the cup. When they rehydrate, they will sink to the bottom. And Gristle says, where can it be bought? I don't know if anyone actually sells it. I would like to think that you could probably go on Amazon and find polypore either ground up or something. I find it on birch trees. So I don't buy it, I find it, I harvest it, and then I dehydrate it and store it in jars. And just by dehydrating it and storing it like this, it'll last for probably a good 2 years safely without doing any further like freezing it or pressure canning it or anything, just stored in a jar. You're good for a couple years. So yeah, we mix in our coffee. I wish I could tell you where to buy it, but I just harvest it. So I don't buy it. Going back to our poll question for the community, what should we call our community? You know how different communities call their thing, their people, different things. Everyone has a little bit of a slogan. For example, you know, Apollo and Layla says, "Welcome to the A&L fam." You got, you know, just different people. PewDiePie, Bro Army. What's up, my Bro Army? I thought, you know what? As we continue to grow this channel, I don't want to just keep calling you guys. Hey guys, I'd like to call you guys something. So, does anyone have any thoughts towards our little poll? I gave the options of My Wild Lifers. What's up, My Wild Lifers? Because the channel is My Wild Life Homesteading. The other one was My Wild Ones. Hey guys, you know, you are my wild ones, or join the wild ones, guys. Drop a like and sub and join the wild ones. Become one of the wild ones. Something like that. Or My Wild Fam. It's a little more casual, a little less creative, but welcome to the Wild Fam. We've got Mark saying, as part of the other Wildlife family. Guys, join the Wildlife family. Welcome to My Wild Life. The reason I call the YouTube channel My Wild Life is a bit of a play on words. I'm going to keep washing eggs while I chat with you guys. But one of the reasons that I called it my wildlife, there's a couple plays on words. One, I spend a lot of time out in nature. I spend a lot of time out fishing and hunting and just exploring the forest, spending time with wildlife, one word. And then I live on a 156 acre off-grid homestead. I've got about 130 acres of forest, 30 acres of field. I've got the lake all around, the beach. And so, I live I have a wild life. My life is surrounded by the wilderness. And then this channel is a lot about homesteading, and we're showcasing the baby goats when we have baby cows, baby donkeys, baby animals. We're showing a lot of life on this homestead. So there's another kind of integration, with the baby rabbits and ducks and chickens. We hatch them from eggs. So there's a lot of life on this homestead. So it's kind of a multi-purpose play on words, my wild life. It's not wild in the sense of you guys watching me doing backflips through rings of fire. It's wild in the sense of untamed. I live off grid. It's wild in the sense of nature all around us. And there's also life all around us. So we got the wildlife family, my wild fam, my wild ones, my wild lifers. These eggs are cleaning up nice. I like to give them all just a little bit of a rinse, a little bit of I'm just by hand. I'm not scrubbing them. Just a little bit of a rinse before they go into the sink, or into the fridge. Okay, I'm gonna grab one of our egg cartons and a little bit of paper towel. And Tyrannical says, I thought you owned a petting zoo. I don't. There are people who do this kind of life, who have all these animals, who then bring them out to different not zoos, but like fairs, different fairs, country fairs, where they'll allow people to pet the bunnies and pet the goats and do all that. I don't do that. I don't do that with my animals. I have found from personal experience, I don't judge anyone who does do that. First off, I want to say I don't judge anyone. This is a no judge zone. I'm just doing my own thing. I don't really have time to judge. I might judge a little. The guys who live stream with shaved down teeth and pulling straws and stuff through their nose, I judge them a little bit, but more because I feel pity for them than I actually, there's no ill feeling. But let me just grab an egg carton and then we'll continue this conversation. Okay, what I was trying to say was I don't do the whole petting zoo thing because it stresses the animals out. The animals don't like getting in trailers. They don't like getting hauled around. They don't like getting stuck in a cage, because when you go to a petting zoo situation, they're not able to have that freedom. These guys have 100, they've got 35 acres of field. I let them out. I take them to the beach on the south side. They got all this property to explore. I don't want to stress my animals out by putting them in a cage or a pen. Now, I think it's important that people do this. I do think it's important because it showcases to people who otherwise wouldn't see the animals. It's the whole zoo in general phenomenon. There's pros and cons. It exposes people to this lifestyle who maybe otherwise wouldn't know about it. And it can demonstrate the different types of animals, maybe some more exotic animals that people don't know about that you could have in our climate or on a homestead. So I don't want to bastardize it or talk bad about it. But for me, I just don't want to stress out my animals. Tyrannical says, they all have names. Yes, all my animals have names except I did not name yet. I haven't named my 3 brand new baby boy goats. The baby girl is Frou Frou. I have kids. The boys don't have names because I'm trying to rehouse them. So I got to find buyers for them. And if I can't find a buyer, then they will become meat. And I don't like to name my meat. The chickens, the 2 roosters have names. The 2 roosters have names because they're easily identified. But all the other chickens, they don't have names. They're just the chickens. So I've got Horntail and Houndoom. Those are my 2 roosters. But all the other chickens don't have names. My drakes, my male ducks have names. My kids just named them the other day, and I believe they named them after Minecraft. I think we've got Steve and what's the other one? What's the other guy that Jason Mimosa plays? You got Steve, that dude, and something else. My kids named them. I don't know. The donkeys that we're getting are named Ginny and Georgia. Ginny and Georgia. My cows are Gabby, the Black Angus, and then Bobby and Bernadette. are my 2 Gelvies. And then, yeah, my goats. I've got 9 goats. They all have names. So, does that answer the question? Does that make sense? And, bro, you look like a young Gary Busey. Gary Busey. I don't think I do. I don't think I look like Gary Busey, but if I do, cool. I don't mind Gary Busey. Okay. Eggs are down. We're going to grab our coffee and we're going to go chill with the animals for a little while longer. We get a better chat going when I've got something more to chat about than the ramblings inside my head. So when we go hang out with the goats and stuff, it's a good teaching moment. And Will says, bro has horrible face hair. I did actually fully shave my beard about 3 months ago when my back blew out. So my back blew out. I had spinal surgery two months ago. When my back blew out, I did shave off the facial hair because I was having a midlife crisis and needed a reset. But we are slowly growing it back. The Italian heritage in me does not make it grow too quick. This mustache part way too deep. And bro, you know brushing regular. You know brushing regular. I actually brushed my beard this morning. This is combed. This is combed, my friend. This was brushed. We're gonna take our muddy boots. And Christine says, I like the beard. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. I think Will's just a little bit jealous by his lack of beard, and so he's got to chirp my beard. My mustache is beefy right now. I do have to trim it. This is not, I will take that criticism. I grow a sick mustache. I'm the Mario style Italian. So I'm the type of Italian that grows that thick Mario, like Mario and Luigi, Mario mustache. My mustache grows in thick and strong. That's the first thing to grow. Everything else takes a while to catch up. I definitely am due to trim back the mustache. But as a farm guy, as a bushman, I don't really care that much, my friend. It's not the, we're not doing our eyeliner and plucking our eyebrows. We're just out here living that farm life. And I'm just sharing it with you guys. And also, we're drinking mushroom coffee. And Will says, bro looks like a before and after a product that don't even work. I need you to try harder, my friend. You can do better. You can do better. You can do better. You know, maybe you label the product. But Tyrannical says, when's it begin to snow there? Normally, we'd already have snow on the ground. We've had a bunch of frosty days. So normally it snows here around, I would say October 20th. We usually have snow on the ground. It's a little bit later this year. I think we're gonna be snow-free for Halloween, which is rare. But yeah, let's sneak our way into the baby goats and hang out with them for a little bit. All the other goats are chilling over there, but I want to see if Fufu needs a little more food. I left the bottle out here for her. Oh, and they knocked it down somehow. Okay. Hello, baby goats. Let me lock the door behind me here. Okay. Everything's hard to do with one hand. Let's grab this bottle. There's not much left in it, but I'd like her to finish it. So let's try to set you guys up in such a way that we can see everything. I think we're good here, although we just dipped out of Wi-Fi, so that might mess you up. So let's get closer to the window. Let's go to the other side of the barn. Let's go over here, guys. Because I think over here I catch the Wi-Fi, and I'm not as laggy when I'm in Wi-Fi than when I'm in and out of Wi-Fi. Okay. Fufu. Come here, Fufu. Yes, I know. Come here. Oh, come here, monkey. Oh, this is little baby Fufu. Okay. Let's see. Do you want some bottle? Yeah, she does. And suddenly says hi. And Will says, Big Daddy, I'm vying for your attention. I need you to read my comments because I'm lonely and sad. My man, we could just have a good time. We don't have to be sitting here trying so hard to be funny that we're failing on every mark. Eric is in the chat. Eric, how you doing? Is this the same Eric Griffin that I normally talk to? Your name has a -J1H on it, which it normally doesn't. Christian says, so cute. Yasin says, You love goats so much, I'm very shocked. I love them too. Tyrannic Cult says, do you have pigs? I did have pigs. However, here's what I did. I did seasonal pork, meaning I bought the babies in the spring, I raised them throughout the summer, and then I butchered them in the fall, and I ate them. Now, I wanted to do them that way because I wanted to raise them in the forest, and so I had to electric fence off a big area, train them to the electric fence, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like pigs. Up here in northern Canada, every animal you take on is 10 times more work in the winter. Everything's easy this time of year. Everything is easy in the spring, summer, and fall when all your water dishes aren't frozen, when you don't have to shovel and plow trails to every animal, every pen. But when you got to be constantly staying on top of snow removal, making sure everyone's warm, making sure you got heat pads and heat lamps going for everyone. Do you want more or are you all done? You're full? I want you to finish. You got like a mouthful left. You're all done? Okay. So everything is harder in the winter. And so I didn't want to commit to another winter animal that requires its own set of care. Pigs can't really be kept with the other animals as easily because if I kept them in the pasture, they would just destroy the pasture. So basically, I did seasonal pigs to see if I would like them. Okay. Hello. And the answer is that I do like them. Hello. You just want to play, don't you? You don't want to be picked up. I'm going to put you down so you can play. This is Fufu, guys. This is Fufu. And Fufu wants to play, so I'm going to put her down. Okay, Fufu. You go down. Ugh. We got Mama in the back with her babies there. So anyway, I liked the pigs. I'm going to do year-round pigs next year. We're going to get some in the spring. We're going to breed them in the fall. And yeah, that's going to be the whole thing. We're going to get into year-round pigs. I'm going to have to build another section off my barn. I'm going to have to build another pen in the forest. I'm going to have to do some stuff, but I'd like to give them multiple acres of land in the forest to roam around in. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, but it'll be a lot of fun. That'll be on next year's docket. And Keithan said, I just tried to show my husband the baby goat. He instantly said, no. It's a trap. It's a trap. I love the goats. You know what? This is what my wife said. My wife said, I want to get goats. And I said, absolutely not. No. Firm no. I got cows. We got rabbits. We got chickens and ducks. I don't want goats. I said, firm no. She said, oh, think about it. Don't be so stubborn. So I went to work. And I talked to people who have experience with farm animals. And I said, hey, my wife wants goats. What are your thoughts? Don't do it. Don't do it. Nobody, don't do it. Don't get goats. So I come home. Everyone told me don't do goats. They get into trouble. They're hard to keep in. They'll escape. They'll jump on your truck. They'll eat everything. They'll chew the wires on your house. Don't get goats. I now have 12 goats right now. I love them. They're my favorite animal. Everybody who says don't do goats, you're wrong. They're fantastic. They're like puppies. They're like dogs. I have full size. I have medium size. I have miniatures. I love them all. They're fantastic. Yes, they do get out. They are hard to keep in. They really actually arguably chew on less things than my cow. My cow is more prone to eat electrical lines than my goats. As long as your goats have enough stimulation, as long as you interact with them, you give them enough land, enough room to express themselves, they are not trouble. These guys are a lot like dogs. They really are. They come when you call them. They just want to be near you. They follow you around. They like to play. They like to be head pat. They like to be picked up. They are just like dogs. And Wilson says, it doesn't understand eye contact. Trust me, they understand eye contact. You're not seeing it right now because they're all by mom except for Frou-Frou who's hanging by my legs. But they like to climb on you. They like to jump into your lap. They just want to get head pets. I have one goat, Mimi, who likes to ride in the Evie, who likes to ride in the skid steer with me. They're a lot of fun. I like the goats. The goats are my homeboys. And Liam Keithan says, we're in the suburbs, so his no is fair. It is a lot easier in the country. I'm going to say that. But I have collars on them. Look at Mama there. She's got a collar around her neck. Not all of them have horns. Find a goat that doesn't have horns. Put a collar on it. They're easier to walk than dogs. Because they don't have that pull. So if I put a leash on her, she just follows where I go, but she doesn't want to pull on me at all because they don't like that feeling on their neck. Whereas a dog has that kind of like, I want to pull, I want to go. The goats just walk. They just walk with you. They're really lovely. If you get one with no horns, you put a collar on it, people are just going to think it's a rare dog breed. People aren't even going to look twice. You tell him I got a puppy. Look at this rare puppy I got. He won't even know. He won't even know. And Christine says, do you get goat's milk? Yes, although I'm not milking any of the goats right this moment, just because she just had her babies, so you wait about 3 months before you start milking them. Basically 2 to 3 months, once the babies have stopped eating milk, that's when you take over and you start milking them. And then my other adult size goats who've had babies in the past, they're pregnant right now, and so I like to stop milking them when they're about 3 months pregnant. That gives them the last couple months just to build some fat, build some weight before they have their babies, because milking them burns calories. So I don't want to keep milking them right before they have their babies. We then take the goat's milk and we turn that into, we drink it normal. We drink it as goat's milk, but we also turn it into cheese and yogurt. And James Johnson says, hello, how are you doing today? I'm doing good, James. And Jeff VQ in the chat. How you doing, Jeff? And Man says, when you say off-grid, do you have electricity, water, utilities? Thanks. So off-grid means that I'm not connected to municipal systems. Lily, what you doing? She's chasing a mouse over there. I do have some electricity. I do have water. I have a well, and I have a generator, batteries, and solar panels. So I have electricity. I heat my house with firewood, but I do have a propane tank as a backup. And so I'm off grid and I try to use as little electricity as possible, because if I use too much, I'll drain those batteries down and I got to run the diesel generator to recharge. But I'm so remote. I live in the middle of nowhere up here in northern Canada that they don't run electricity out here. So yeah, we are streaming right now from Starlink. And so, you know, I do have electricity to run that, but we try to be as gentle on the electricity as possible. I would say being fully off grid and having animals is very difficult up here in northern Canada specifically, because all their water dishes will freeze in the winter. And so I use heated water dishes. This saves me a lot of work by having heated water dishes. They don't work when it's minus 45. When it's minus 45, everything freezes. I don't care if you got a heater in it or not. It all sucks, but whatever. Beyond that 3-4 weeks of the year, when it's not that cold, I can use the heated water dishes. I fill them up once a day or twice a day. I don't have to worry about it. But when I don't have access to electricity and heated water dishes, I got to come break the ice out of the water dishes 3-4 times a day. I got to refill them. I got to haul the water from the house. If I was fully off grid, I'd have to drill a hole out in the lake and haul it from the lake. And I would probably spend more than 50% of my day just trying to make sure my animals didn't die. Whereas having access to heat pads, having access to heated water dishes, it's worth having some level of solar capacity, some level of generator capacity, just to make the animals' lives better. Could I live fully off grid myself? Probably. I think I could. However, if I live fully off grid myself, I wouldn't be able to talk to you guys, and this is a lot of fun. And it wouldn't be a very comfortable life, but I could survive. Could my animals survive? Not as easily. And Tyrannicult says, you make cheese? Yes, we make goat cheese. It's actually surprisingly easy. It's surprisingly easy. Bring the a lot of it. So some you can add bacteria culture to the cheese to make like certain types of cheese. But other types of cheese, it's as simple as just bringing it up to a certain temperature, letting it sit, and then straining it out. You bring it up to temperature, that separates out the whey from the curds, and then you just strain the whey out. You can then take the whey and you can reheat that and turn that into like a ricotta. So making cheese out of animal's milk is super easy and super tasty. And yeah, I was surprised when I started doing it just how easy it is. It's a lot of fun. And Liam says, could you do a live stream next time you make cheese? I definitely will and can, but it's gonna be a couple months, because I stopped milking all my other goats because they're all pregnant and having babies here soon, and she just had her babies, so she's about 3 months away from me milking her. So subscribe and stick around, and we will do that. But I've got lots of live streams and videos of us milking the goats and showing that process as well. I actually have some videos that I've taken of making the goat cheese. I just have to turn it into a long form. So subscribe, and maybe I'll make it a priority to try to get these how-to videos up there to show people how to make goat cheese and how to make goat yogurt. Because I do have the content. I have taken the video. I just haven't put it together. I'm not a big fan of the editing process. I'd rather just chill and hang out with you guys and drink coffee. Does that make sense? Going back to our poll, so far, I've got a question up to the community saying, what should we call our community? My Wild Lifers, My Wild Ones, My Wild Fam, or Other? And so far, leading the pack is My Wild Ones. And so the idea there is if we're streaming, it's that whole, what's up, My Wild Ones, or welcome, thanks for joining the community. You are a wild one. Stuff like that. So far, that is leading the chat. You know how different communities have different slogans, and I'm open to suggestions, guys. If you guys are thinking the answer should be Other, throw some Other out there. We're probably going to run this poll over a few different live streams. I want to get as many opinions as I can. And maybe what I'll do is I'll bump off the losers and we'll stick with the highest ones and see if we can get to the bottom one. Catherine is saying My Wild One. Everyone likes to be called a wild one. Tyrannicult says, what vegetables do you grow? So this year I didn't go hard on vegetables. I just did the basics. I did garlic, tomatoes, peppers. This year was really a lot of focus on my health. I had spinal surgery 2 weeks ago. My health had been failing me, and eventually it caught up to me. So I didn't go hard on a garden this year. I did plant a bit of an orchard. I planted a bunch of apple trees, pear trees, plum trees, elderberry bushes. So I won't expect to see any harvest from that for a few years, but I wanted to get the ball rolling. But next year, we will definitely get much, much bigger into the gardening aspect of homesteading. So next year, I plan to do, a pumpkin patch. I harvested a bunch of sugar pumpkin seeds and I saved them. So next year I will plant those. We got a chicken saying hi. Let's see if the chicken will let me carry it. Are you gonna let me pick you up, or are you not rested? Hey, no. It's okay. Hey. I could have just yeeted it. My wife is very good at just grabbing them, but I didn't want to stress it out. If it didn't want to get picked up, I wasn't gonna pick it up. Savitar says, how can I make my hair look as good as yours? Thank you, Savitar. My wife cuts my hair. I grab a little bit of hair paste and just set it off to the side. But you know what, Savitar? I'm sure you already look fantastic. I believe in you. And Gristle says, do you have help with your farm? So I do have a wife and 5 children. I have sons 8, 6, 4, 2, and 0. And so my wife is a big part of the homestead. My oldest 2 kids are a big part of the homestead. The other ones almost make a little more work than help, but it's still fun to get them out here. Oh, you want to get picked up, buddy? Hi. Hello, Snuffleupagus. Hello. This guy's the White Knight. I haven't officially named him, but if I had to name him, I'd call him the White Knight. He's a stud. He's a little stud muffin. And Yasin says, yo, you can get goat milk from you can I'm gonna try again. You can, from goat milk or cow milk, make a dinner or a breakfast, a yogurt. Absolutely. When we are milking our goats, like I said, we stopped because we got these little babies who need the milk more than I do. 100%, there's periods of time where 100% of our cheese and milk and yogurt come from the goats. And Tyrannical says, child labor. If you're living like a pioneer, man, you gotta have the offspring to eventually take over the labor. James said, did you see my last comment? I missed it. James had said, temperature down here is 48 degrees Fahrenheit. I know 48's nothing for you in your area. 48's still chilly. It's probably around 34, 35 right now, but it's going to warm up. I think we're going to see the low 40s today. You guys probably can't see my breath. Maybe you're catching the odd glimpse of it. Maybe you can see the steam out of my coffee. Maybe a little bit. We're just above 32 degrees here. Oh, my coffee's almost too hot though. And Kimberly says hi. Hi, Kim. And Willow says hi. Hello, Willow. This is a baby goat. I don't know if you're going to have any horns on your head, buddy. I don't feel any. One of them for sure has some very pronounced protrusions. So I can tell for sure. Not all of the goats have horns, and having horns is not even, hi chicken. Having horns isn't a matter of a male or female. It's not like moose. It's not like deer, caribou, etc. It's purely just genetics. It's the same with cows. Some cows have horns, some don't, but it's not because they're a boy or a girl. It's just genetics. So it's the same with goats. This guy's dad does not have horns. The mom does. So not all of these guys are going to have horns on their head. And we got Mama back there with some of the goats, and I'm just chilling with this one. Willow says, I know I used to live on a farm. Well, hello. Hello, are you jealous? You want to be picked up? You want me to hold you? This chicken over here is jealous of the conversation. She's trying to show off for the live stream. Catherine says, Alabama, it's 72 degrees here in the Gulf Shores. And Zig says, me. JF says, nice goat. Savitar says, if you could give your 28-year-old self advice, what would you tell them asking for a friend? Okay, I'm going to go one step further. If I could tell my 14-year-old self something, I would say it's not likely that you're going to become a professional in athletic sports, so maybe don't push yourself beyond having fun. I tend to go too hard, tend to get too competitive. I'm not going to say which, but I was on Team Canada for one of my sports when I was 14, 15, 16. Now, I overdid it. I hurt my back. Lifelong injury that just resulted in spinal surgery now. If I could go back and realize that the likelihood of that happening was way too high, I wouldn't have done it. So in my opinion, I would say don't overdo it. Just have fun. Just enjoy life, but don't take yourself too serious. Let your ego fall behind and just enjoy life. Just enjoy your time. And beyond that, if I had to tell my 28-year-old self something, I would have told my 28-year-old self, if you plan to have a barn and you plan to have animals, give yourself more head space. Build everything taller. Just go bigger. Just go bigger. Money does grow on trees. You'll always have more. You can just cut trees down and build stuff. The amount of times I've bumped my head in this barn is astronomical. I could make an entire compilation of videos of me smacking my head in here. So if I had to tell my 28-year-old self something, I would say, build your roofs taller. I'm just saying. And Willow says, I love goats. They are my favorite animal. Honestly, don't tell the cows, but they're my favorite too. I really, really like them. I really like the goats. They're a lot of fun. This little guy, he's just comfy as bee. He's absorbing that sun. He's just snuggled up. I was actually here on live stream. This guy was born. All 4 of these goats were born on live stream. They were born on live stream 2 weeks ago. On Saturday, 2 weeks ago. So they're 2 weeks old. And they're just living their best life, man. And Matthew says, what's up, brother? I love bunnies. This is actually a goat. This is a goat. This is a goat, and he is snuggled right in there. What's his name? I haven't officially named this guy. I generally don't name the boys because I don't keep the surplus boys. I've got the father himself and his first son, Bast. I kept those 2. But otherwise, I try to resell these guys. If I can't sell them, I do have to eat them. But I give it as much time as I can to sell them. So I try to sell them, so I don't really name them. But every time I look at this guy, I think he's the White Knight. So in my mind, this is the White Knight. The black one back there is Stallion. For sure. His name's Stallion. But I don't really officially name these guys. And Matthew says, Billy Bob. Isabel says, I saw that live. He's grown so much. Yes. Little Frou-Frou here is the runt of the litter. She's down in front of me. But I'm going to leave her down there because she looks happy. So little Frou-Frou, the girl, she ended up being the smallest and not able to push her brothers off of mom's teat. And so I ended up keeping her in the house for about 4 or 5 days. I know. The chicken really wants attention. Hello, chicken. Hello. Why you barking up a storm? Why are you barking up a storm? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You trying to show off for the camera? Anyway. Willow says, I am going to have chicken tonight. It's just a joke. It's okay. I do butcher the surplus roosters, and so I might have chicken tonight as well. And James says, one of the cowboys made a campfire to stay warm. What's that, out by your ranch? And Sam says, hi. How you doing, Sam? We are chilling in the barn right now, hanging out with the animals. I've got a goat in my arms. I gotta go. And the question of the day, guys, goes to what should we be calling our community? Are you guys a community of my wild ones? Are you a community of wild ones? Are you a community of wild lifers? Are you a community of my wild fam? What are we calling you guys? Am I saying, am I calling you guys the wild ones? Stay wild, my wild ones. What are we calling you guys? Is there a better option? Am I just not creative enough? The community, the channel, this YouTube channel is called My Wild Life. I call my property White Pines Homestead. My name is Justin. Nice to meet y'all. And we're just chilling right now with a goat. Sam says, I thought it was a cow. You know what? Baby cows are born around 40 to 50 pounds. If this was a cow, and maybe you're not being serious, you're being silly, but a second chicken came into the... cows are born about 40, 50 pounds. Big ol' babies, just so you know. And what time is it? It is 9:30 a.m. And Bellis says, how does the goose sound like a chicken? How does the goat? That's the chickens. They're being so loud. I'm gonna kick them out of here. I'm gonna send them on their way. Maybe I'll cuddle one of them if they want to be on TV so bad. Okay, you go down. Oh, you. You want me to grab you? Oh, you're so far away. They like laying their eggs in here. Sorry, I'm trying to open this door without spilling my coffee. They like laying their eggs in here, so I'm thinking that this one's coming in here to roost. Okay. Hey, saddle. Crikey, guys, we caught ourselves a dinosaur. Let's try to close the door with one hand. There we go. Hello. So we traded. We went from chilling with a goat to chilling with a chicken. There we go. That's not a dinosaur. I mean, some people say they are descendants from dinosaurs. And nice Aussie accent. And I have 4 chickens. Nice. We have, what do we have? We've got like 14. We have 14 hens and 2 roosters. Oh, are you pooping on me? No, you're just a goat. Okay. I felt something on my feet and I thought the chicken was pooping on me, but it was a goat walking on my feet. Okay. I'm going to send this chicken flying. We're going to send him out of here. You go find a different spot. You go find somewhere else. We're going to send you on your way. Go find somewhere else to lay an egg. And freedom! Okay, we're back. We're back. How many goats? Shiloh, I have 9 adult goats and 4 babies right now, but I have a bunch of goats that are pregnant, and so we will have a bunch more. But here are some of the goats and some of the babies. Little baby Frou-Frou over here. Hello. Oh, Frou-Frou, why are you the hardest to hold? You're the one I bottle feed, and you're the hardest to hold. You're the hardest to hold. I also have chilling back here, Simba chilling, and inside that box is another rabbit, but he's just hiding right now. But there's Simba over there, my big bunny. And Bella says, what do chickens eat? Well, I feed them a store-bought egg-laying mix. It's a type of pellet that has some soy in it, some calcium in it, different hay, you know, ground up pellets, just pellets. They also eat bugs. So I let my chickens all free range, so they run around looking for bugs. They'll eat a bit of grass. And Willow says, please look at my comment. I missed it. I will scroll up, Willow. Willow had said, it's raining. For me, it is 1:37 and it is raining. Is that the comment you wanted me to talk about? And Good Night Munchie says, Kofta Quest shot a doe this morning with a crossbow. Hope everyone is having a great day. Is Kofta Quest a YouTuber? Or is that you? Who's Kofta Quest? Who is Kofta Quest? And Weston is saying hi. Bellis says chickens look scary. Yeah, people say goats look freaky because they don't like the eyeballs of goats, but chickens are much freakier. Chickens got like a red beady eye. Goats have that kind of frog eye, that slitted eye, and they kind of look more like they're just chilling. They're just looking like they're curious. But a chicken looks like it's a predator. They will hunt mice as well. Chickens will eat mice. And Good Night Munchie says, yes, he is a YouTuber. I have shot with a not a recurve, sorry, my compound bow. So not a crossbow. I have shot one deer with my compound bow. This year I decided not to do any deer hunting because I had spinal surgery a couple months ago. So I'm just healing. But yeah, we do also do some hunting. Not on live stream, but I do some hunting. I've shot a couple partridge this year, a grouse, some birds, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Hello. And Willow says, I have 3 cats and a dog. Bellis says, what would win, a chicken or a cat? A cat. Cats are cold-blooded killers. 100% a cat would win in a chicken versus cat showdown. Roland says, Alleluia, brother. And James says, I dislike bow hunting. I typically just use my rifle nowadays. The bow I use more for fun. I don't mind either way, but the gun is just a more guaranteed and longer range. It's just easier. And at this point in my life, I'm kind of going after the easier adventure than the harder adventure. So for me, I use the rifle. And the chicken is back. I know that's not the one I caught. That's the one that got away before I caught him. The one I caught's traumatized. The one I caught feels mortified. It says, how dare you catch me and hold me like a pet? Oh, he's back. He says, ah, ha, ha. If animals had personality, these chickens would be full of it. I'm telling you. I'm in your space right now, aren't I? Okay, we're going to let this guy go. We're going to go hang out by the cows. We're going to give the chickens some privacy to lay eggs. And how big is the bunny? The bunny, he's got to be like 9 pounds. He's a big boy. He's bigger than the goats. He's a giant. I would pick him up and show you, but I'm allergic to rabbits. And if I pick the rabbit up, I'm going to be itchy and scratchy all day. So I'm going to set Fufu down. Ugh. Let's go see what other animals we can hang out with. I'll put this bottle in my pocket, and let's go see what else we got going on. Sorry, Fufu, I bumped you. Okay. Yes, chicken. Okay, we're going to sneak out here, guys. Let's close the gate. We got a bunch of goats chilling on a hay bale. We got some cows out in the field. It's a beautiful morning. We're going to be doing some carpentry today, not on live stream. Before I go do some carpentry, we'll chill a little longer. But I need to finish out the insulated chicken coop, that big one over there. And I need to flip this one around. So you'll see here right now, if we're just staring over at my coop area, this one here, the roof is sloping this way. This one here, the roof is sloping this way. I need the roofs to slope the same way. Otherwise, the snow is going to just impact and build up against the walls. And that's just going to cause faster rotting and stuff. So I'm going to flip it around and make the roofs go the same way. So that'll be a bit of a project. I got to get in there and see what I can do. But hello, goats. And Shiloh says, what animals do you have in all? So I've got about 9 plus babies, 9 goats. I've got 3 cows over there. In 2 weeks, I'm getting 2 donkeys. I have had pigs, but I did them seasonally and ate them. I've got rabbits, I've got chickens, and I've got ducks, and I've got a dog. We also have Wild Life. I need to go scour the fields later as well. I think last night there was a bear in my field. I came out here to check on the animals, and I saw two eyeballs staring right back at me from the tree line, and it was big. It was standing probably shoulder high, so it was a big animal. And so I want to go look and see if I can see any signs of any bear. I might have to go do some tracking. I don't want a bear on my property. I don't want to deal with a bear. So I might have to, there's a policy that I'm not allowed to have a gun on live stream. So I'm not going to bring you guys on that mission, but I might go track that bear. If I find the bear, I might deal with the bear. And then we'll eat the bear, but we'll see. And Andrew says, ever been confronted by vegans? All the time. I mean, if you're talking about eating bears and you're talking about homesteading and eating animals, definitely. The worst I had one time there a couple weeks ago. Someone had gone onto Facebook and shared a link to the live stream and tried to get as many people as they could to come over here and just be annoying. But this is my lifestyle. This, if you guys want to learn more about it, I am absolutely happy to share. But yeah, I know you can't please everyone, and I'm not trying to please everyone. I'm just trying to educate people. This is my way of life. This is my wild life. Trying to see how to get the goats in here so we're not just staring at a bunch of goat butts. We got the cows over there. And James says, I am 59 and losing strength in my left arm. I'm sorry to hear that, James. I wonder if that's related to your back injury. And OK Doggy says, no thanks. And 13 says, beautiful property. Shiloh says, peace. Yes, it is a beautiful day. It's a beautiful property. We got the lake out that way towards the sun. We got the fields back here. Like I said, I got to go take a look later, see if there was if it was in fact a bear I saw yesterday. And Rusty says, what's wrong with looking at goat butts? We got to keep this appropriate, my friend. Kathy says, hi from Boston. Hello, welcome to Northern Canada. And Shiloh says, I love animals. The animals are absolutely the best. They're adorable. Let's get you guys a better angle of, this is Faye. Faye and her baby Elsa, these two goats here. They are full-size goats. They are Alpine Toggenburgs. You are a goofball. You're a goofball, mistress. So I always tell people, goats are a lot like dogs. They like head scratches. They've got a lot of personality. They come when you call them. They're just curious creatures. If you have a bunch of them, they're arguably easier than dogs because they all stay together. So when I go for a walk in the forest or walk down the road and I want to take them with me, they just all follow behind me. I don't have to worry about them taking off chasing anything. They just stay close. I put little dog collars on them. And, I could walk them around if I want. I could put a leash on them. I don't have to, but I could. And, they're a lot of fun. I really like the goats. The goats are a fantastic animal. And Valkyrie says, hello from Montana. I'm 40 miles south of Canada. Well, hello, my neighbor. And Andre says, hello from Sweden. And how are you feeling today? I just feel good. Very nice animals that you have. And toast to you then. Cheers, my friend. I'm doing good today. I can't complain. We got the sun shining. It's a beautiful day. We're going to do some work. After this live stream, I'm going to go do some carpentry working on the insulated chicken coop. See, like I said, man, just like dogs. She jumped off the hay pile just to come get some head scratches and say hello. Oh! I dropped you guys. We're back. She come just to say hi. She's sniffing my pockets, trying to see what I got in my pocket. And she just wants to be on camera. They are such a cool and fun animal. She has gotten me once with her horns. She got me in the ribs once, but it wasn't really her fault. What I do when I trim their hooves, so you do have to trim their hooves, just like, you bring a dog to the groomer. What I do is I hoist them into the barn. I hoist them up into the barn. I've got a harness and a winch system, and I hoist them to the roof so that I can cut their nails at good working height for me. But she had never had it done before. I got her from another farm. And so when I went to do her, she kind of freaked out a little bit, and she gave a little head back, and she got me right in the ribs, left a nice bruise right in my ribs. But it wasn't malicious. It wasn't mean. She just didn't like that I was touching her, trying to get her onto a harness. It was a new experience. She didn't know what to think. So it wasn't. She wasn't being mean, and she's never done it since. She's never done it since. I had a chocolate bar in my pocket. Maybe she's smelling that. I don't anymore, but she's a very curious girl. And sorry if I missed anything that you guys really want to know the answer to, just say it again. I get a little distracted when I'm trying to talk to everyone and trying to stay on track with every conversation. But my favorite animal on the homestead is the goats. I do have the cows and the chickens and the ducks and the rabbits and the dogs, and I had pigs. But my favorite is definitely the goats. The goats are a lot of fun. They're really cool animals. They got a lot of personality, and they provide a lot of, we use them for milk, cheese, yogurt. I do use them for some protein, but I try not to if I can avoid it. It's just if I can't rehome them, then like when I have surplus males, the goal is to rehome them. And if I can't find buyers and takers for them, I eat them. But primarily for milk. And James said, the way I deal with trespassers with a lever rifle, just a loud sound, a loud round in my lever is good enough. Yeah, up here in Canada, I feel like if I shot a gun to scare someone away, I would go to jail for an illegal use of a firearm. Canada firearm laws suck. Our laws suck. And Rusty says, man, that hurt. Hope you got a good insurance. And Shiloh says, she likes your scent, I guess. 13 says, look at the one behind you. Bah! Sorry, was it doing something crazy? And Shiloh says, the sound from the goats are so funny. And where am I again? Says, I am so jealous. I need the farm life. I hear an airplane. Shiloh says, bah, back. And 13 says, the furry one. So the furry one is actually the boy. So this is the breeder. He's kind of a dirty fella. He's getting a little frisky right now. He is a pygmy goat mixed with silky goat. So he's part silky goat, part pygmy goat. That puts him to a small, medium-sized goat. Very stocky. And he doesn't have horns, but he is the boy. He's actually the only one we have right now with no horns, but he's the boy. And yeah, he's pretty pretty. Here's his son. His son also picked up some of that silky goat. So this is Bast, and Bast has a really cool like little tuft on the front of his head. Bast, come here, Bast. Hey, I'm trying to set the tripod down so it doesn't fall down, so I can show them your hairdo. Okay, we'll walk around this way. Look at Bast's hairdo. He's so cool. He's so cool. He's got this he's got bangs, man. He straight up has bangs. So that is Bast. Yeah, that's the goats. The cows are back here. We can go hang out by them. But the cows right now, so Gabby is my home girl. I bottle fed her, raised her from a baby, bottle fed. These two other ones I just got last week. And so they are still a little nervous around me. They're still a little skittish. So these two over here are Gelvies, shorthorn Gelvies. They're new. And so we don't want to get too close to them because I don't want to make them nervous. I actually really enjoy just hanging out on the live stream with them because it gets them used to me talking, gets them used to me being near them. It gets them used to me not being a threat, not being something they have to worry about. So you just got to spend a lot of time with them. Eventually, I will be able to work them up to the point where I can just pet them and, But right now, they're still nervous Nancy's. Nervous Nilly. Shiloh says, when is your next stream? I will probably be streaming again tomorrow. Today, I doubt I'll stream again later today, because I got a lot of work to do. I'm going to be doing some carpentry on the insulated chicken coop, and then I'm going to do some more work installing that faux brick backsplash in the behind the wood stove. And what brand is your jacket? I think it's a Tough Duck. Tough Duck. And Shiloh says, what time around? Probably the morning, just like this. So probably streaming this time, plus or minus an hour. Maybe, 2 hours back, something like that. I don't really have a streaming schedule yet. So, you know, a lot of people have a set schedule, like streaming every Saturday. And I know that's good for growth. I know that's good for the YouTube channel. It's good for you guys to know when to expect us to be live. But right now, because I have a wife and 5 kids, my philosophy is that I try to prioritize my family over everything else when I can. I work a full-time job. So during the week, I go to work, and then in the evenings, I spend the evening with my family. And then often I will live stream around 8 p.m. Central Time, around that 8 p.m. when my kids are sleeping. I don't like to do it when they're awake. And then otherwise, when my wife and kids are out of town, which they're out of town this weekend, I'll come on and live stream. So often on live weekend, long weekends, holidays in Canada, they'll take off to go see family, and I'll stay and manage the farm. So I'll live stream during those. But yeah, as of this point, while I'm working full time and also have my family, I can't really set a streaming schedule. I just stream whenever it's convenient for me. So hence right now, let's go see Gabby, because Gabby's a good girl and she's not going to run away. And when did you get your cows? I think I got them last Monday. So just under a week ago. Just under a week ago. So here's Gabby. I've had Gabby for 2 years. Gabby's been around for a long time, but these 2 cows, we just got them a week ago. Hello, Gabby. She is a big girl. She's a good girl, but she's big. And Shiloh says, okay, I'll see if I can join. Just like, subscribe, hit that bell, and if we can see you again next time, that'd be awesome. And I get to start live streaming tomorrow. I'm excited. So Shiloh plays Roblox. That means you have a YouTube channel, and that means you've just qualified. You've just unlocked live streaming. Good for you. Good for you. The journey has to start somewhere, and it's a lot of fun. Just remember, interact with your community, read the chats, and just be authentic. Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself. Josh says, what part of Canada? We're up towards Hudson's Bay. Up towards Hudson's Bay, Ontario. 13 says, jealous. A lot of work, but what a full, amazing life. Oh, Gabby. Hello, Gabby. Hello. I must smell really good. Everyone's trying to sniff me. Hello, Gabby. And Eric says, do you ever have to poke their belly to release pressure? I don't. I feel like that tends to be more of a thing if you have fields of alfalfa or high bloating hay. My fields are just a lot of grass and just weed mix kind of thing, but it hasn't been an issue. If you give them too much grain, if you give them too much alfalfa, they will get bloated, and then yes, that can be a thing where farmers have to poke them in the stomach to relieve that pressure. It's never been an issue for me. And Andre says, what do you drink, coffee or an ice cold beer? Actually, I don't drink any alcohol. I haven't had any alcohol since 2019. So it's been 6 years. 6 years next month. It's been since November. So this is coffee. In fact, I'm drinking fungus coffee. There is birch polypore fungus in this coffee. It sounds weird saying fungus coffee, so I usually call it mushroom coffee, but I take dehydrated cubes of birch polypore, throw it in my coffee. It's good for anti-inflammatory, gut health, immune support, and so I drink that with my coffee. So why not? If you've ever heard of chaga, C-H-A-G-A, it also grows on a birch tree. Birch polypore is just like chaga. It's just general good for you, so why not? Living Good says, my fiance's father used to work for Hudson's Bay Corp. Trap lines or the clothing store. And Tree Rogi says, huh? Fungus coffee? Cheers. I do have to go at some point. Maybe, do I take you guys for a walk? I don't know. I think it's better if I don't. I feel like the walking, moving with the camera is a little disorientating for you guys. I got to go take a look. Last night I saw maybe a bear staring back at me in the field. It was pitch black and I could just see the eyeballs staring straight back at me. And the fact that the eyes were staring straight back at me tells me it was a predator, not a prey. If I could only see one eye or the eyes were off to the sides, it would be something like a deer or a moose and I wouldn't be concerned. But the fact that the eyeballs were glowing, staring straight back at me tells me it was either a wolf or a bear. It was standing about shoulder high in the backfield along the tree lines. And when I shouted at it, it took off. But I want to go see what I can see as far as scat. So I got to look for poop and tracks. If it's a wolf, that's not good. That's not great. If it's a bear, arguably worse. Wolves will tend to stay away if you make enough noise and sound, but bears, when they get curious, they get dangerous. So I do have to go scope the field. I didn't want to go looking. I went out a little bit, but I didn't want to go looking in the pitch black because I couldn't see the shape of the animal. I just saw the eyes glowing with my headlight. And so I didn't want to get scooped up. But I do have to go look. It could have been Bigfoot, but normally when I yell out to Bigfoot, Bigfoot yells back. So I don't think it was Kyle. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you Bigfoot's name's Kyle, but I don't think it was Bigfoot. I think it might have been a bear, but I do got to go take a look because if it's bedded down or hanging out somewhere in my fields right now, I'll have to deal with that. And 13 says, Kyle, and do you have a really powerful flashlight? You know what? I don't have a good enough one. I was just using a little headlight, one of those little headlights, and all I could see were the eyes glowing back at me. I couldn't see the shape of the body. I could tell how tall it was because it was standing about, like looking back at me, it was about shoulder high. So it was a big animal. But I couldn't even make out the shape of the body. It was pitch black. It was like stars in the sky, pitch black. So I'll have to keep that in mind. Tree Rogie says, you got a gun on you? Not on me right now. Not right now. I'm safe right now. It's the daytime and I'm in the field. But when I go looking, I will bring one with me just in case. But I can't do that on live stream. If I did that on live stream, I'd get the ban hammer and I'd be gonzo. So we're not going to do that on live stream. That's something to be taken care of privately. That's a private matter between me and the bear. Andrea says, coffee is the best thing in the country and in Sweden. Cheers to the morning coffee. Tyrannicult says, don't worry, Canadian bears are polite. You know what? The ones I have here are black bears, and they are the least scary of the bears. However, in one of the local communities not that far from me, a woman actually got scooped up from her house from a black bear. Her dog was barking at the door. She thought the dog just had to go out. She opened the door and the bear was standing right there and it grabbed her. She survived. The dog, I guess, managed to scare off the bear and the husband, but both the husband and the wife had to go to emerge and like giant gashes and just all chewed up. So not a good situation. Not a good situation. It's not something I normally worry about because I spend a lot of time outdoors and I've encountered a few bears. I've never had an aggressive one like that. It's not something I spend any energy on worrying about. However, it would be a good time for me to go wandering through the forest with my rifle just to make sure that it's safe while my wife and kids aren't around in case, you know, the bear is trouble. And maybe it's gone and maybe it wasn't even a bear. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe it was a wolf or, you know, something and it's long gone. I'm not scared of wolves. Wolves, but I didn't hear it. It would have howled, or it would have howled. I swear, if it was a bear, it would have made, or if it was a wolf, it would have made noise. It didn't make any noise. I'm thinking bear. But yeah. I'm less scared of wolves than I am of bears. I'm not scared of bears, but I don't like them on the homestead. Tyrannicult says, my uncle had a farm in Montana. We saw grizzlies when fly fishing. And Living Good Hunting says, Walmart sells a really good flashlight. It's called a Kodak. It's black and green, very reliable and very, very bright. I will keep that in mind. I really do need a bigger, more like a spotlight, like a much higher lumen flashlight, something so I can actually, you know, just scan the field with a high powered light and just make sure, you know. I always like to take a look out in the fields before I tuck all the animals in for the night because I would hate to, you know, close the animals up in the barn and then like a wolf or something get in there. So I like to take a little look, you know, like a maniac. I was out here yelling in the fields, just trying to scare whatever it was away. But yeah. Eric says, bear spray works good. Don't spray it upwind though. I've seen a lot of videos of people accidentally spraying themselves with bear spray. Andrea says, could you come into your life and say hello to you, even if the two of us don't even know each other? Could you come into your life? Could you come into my life? Could I come into your life? What do you mean, my friend? And Living Good says, well, Fungi says, hi Fungi. And Living Good says, yeah, it's like 15,000 or 30,000 lumen. It has a warning, but that creates heat and not to leave it on surfaces. And Eric says, I really like Olight flashlights. They have several great, powerful flashlights. I saw those online. But like the scrub that I am, I emailed them asking if they wanted to send me something to review, and I never heard back. So I've had a few offers. I haven't really done a whole lot, but you know, that was something that I thought I would use, and I was like, hey, if I can get one for free, I'm gonna shill. I'm gonna ask. But maybe we got to reach back out. Maybe I got to reach back out to Olight and see if they'll send me a flashlight for my live streams. We can live stream in the pitch black using an Olight flashlight, powered by Olight. Not a sponsor. And Fun Guy says hello. Okay, hi goats. You guys are playing King of the Castle. Try not to drop my phone in some manure. Dangerous thing about hanging out and live streaming in a field. If my phone falls over, there's a good chance it's landing in a cow patty, and that ain't that fun. Try to get you guys in a decent enough position here. And Tyrannicult says, you have any turkeys? Thanksgiving is coming up. Actually, in Canada, we had Thanksgiving earlier this month in October. We do Thanksgiving a month sooner than you guys because our growing season is a lot shorter and it gets cold too fast. But I don't do turkeys. I did do a homestead chicken. I was home alone, so I did some ham from my pigs and some chicken. So we did have a raised on the homestead Thanksgiving. And Tree Rogi says, Fun Guy and mushroom coffee. Nice fit. I do have fungi coffee. There is birch polypore in my coffee. I like to call it mushroom coffee because it sounds gross if I tell you guys I'm drinking fungal coffee. Technically, the polypore is classified as a fungus, but I call it a mushroom because it sounds a lot less weird. Trying to set the tripod up, not in a cow patty. I think we're good there. And Fun Guy says, I am in Calgary. Well, hello, my fellow Canadian. And Odin says, good luck out there. Thank you, Odin. Odin said, I'm not surprised. Cancer always has such a great chance of coming back because the only thing dogs and children with cancer have in common is inhumane EMF levels. Odin, you're flying way over my head on that one. And Yurdi, how does that one not get blocked by the auto chat? I'm just gonna put you in a timeout, my friend. I have an auto filter that blocks messages. It usually does a pretty good job, but it missed that one. Oh, it caught it the first time. So the auto filter caught it the first time and then missed it the other times. Weird. Andrea says, what do you mean? What do you mean in your life? I'm going back to the. You said. Your comment was, could you come into your life and say hello to you, even if the two of us don't even know each other? There's a wrong pronoun in there somewhere that would make it make more sense if you reworded that. And 13 says, subscribed. I can't wait to follow your journey. Thank you. And, you know, with all you guys being my wild ones, I don't know how I feel about that, though. It doesn't roll off the tongue that well. Stay wild. That's the catchphrase. That's the Bear Grylls and not the Bear Grylls, the Coyote Peterson. Stay wild, friends. Okay, reset, refocus. There is potentially, I've been talking to a casting agency. There is a chance that we will get filmed into a TV series. I don't want to give any more definition than that. But if that happens, y'all are some of the early community members here for this journey. So if that happens, that could be really fun and really big for us. And that's you know, it could be a lot of fun. So I'm glad to have you guys here on the early side of our YouTube journey. We really have started to gain some traction on YouTube since around May of this year. I have been making videos for 2 full years. This is a journey. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes focus. We've kind of found our fit and our ebb and flow. But yeah, welcome to the wildlife community, guys. And Joe says, is it true what they say about Canadian men and their goats? So nobody says that about Canadian men. People say that about Middle Eastern men. But unless you're saying that they're the best freaking animal and they're a lot of fun and personality and they're really, really cool, yes, that is what they say about goats in Canada. And 13 says, wow, awesome, a TV thing. And Punch Buggy says, good luck, new subscriber here. Well, thank you, Punch Buggy. And thank you, 13. And Andreas says, things are wrong when you write in English. I know. It can be tricky. We have a really silly language up here. And such Such says, man, living everyone's dream. Thank you. And Fun Guy says, do you drink goat's milk? Yes, yes. Right now I'm not, because the goats are pregnant, and so I stopped milking them about 2 months before they have their babies. So they're all due kind of November. So I'm expecting some babies out of this one and this one in November. So I stopped milking them just to give their bodies a chance to put on some weight, yeah, just to give them a break. They're about to have some babies suckling on their teat for 3 months. I think they could use a break. And Trex says, is it better than cow's milk? There's an asterisk here. So different breeds of cows and different breeds of goats, be nice, they produce different flavors of milk. And Raj says, you got to be using Starlink. Yes, I do have a Starlink. Thank you, Elon, for sponsoring this live stream. The goats, this one here is a mini Nubian, and her goat is really good. Her goat milk is really good. Her milk is like a 5 to 7% cream, so it's very creamy, very tasty. But she doesn't have as much volume as maybe some of the other ones. She'll give me about 2 liters, half a gallon a day. Half a gallon a day, really creamy. Faye over here is an Alpine Toggenburg, a full-size goat. Her milk is closer to a 0% fat, and she produces 1 to 2 gallons a day. Now, she produces a lot of low cream milk, and it doesn't taste as good on its own. So I use hers for drinking milk because that high fat content makes it very sweet and tasty. But because hers has low fat, it's not very tasty. It's kind of watery, but it makes very good cheese and yogurt. If you're going to flavor it anyway, it just tastes better that way. So yeah, different goats for different purposes, just like cows. If you try to milk a Black Angus cow, you're going to get a very unappetizing flavored milk versus some of your more dairy bred cows. So, you know, different purposes, different animal, different purposes. And Fun Guy asked, do you eat your goats? So my main goal with the goats is to produce milk breeding goats, milk varieties. So most of these are milk varieties. The first goats we got were meat goats. These are the pygmy goats over here. They are bred for their meat. They put on weight really fast. And so they are bred for meat. I try not to eat them when I can. I'd rather rehouse them, resell them. However, there have been times where, you know, you can't find a buyer, and we have eaten goat meat. I like the goats. They're my favorite animal. So I'd rather not eat them just because I like them so much. But yeah, what I want to do is eventually down the road, I want to replace my breeder, who is a pygmy silky goat. I'd like to replace him with a Nubian goat, so that all of my goats are a high quality milk yield goat. But we'll cross that road when we get there. Right now, we are producing kind of 50-50, you know, good for milk and meat goats. And Raj says, wild lifers should be winning the poll. What's up, my wild lifers? What's up, my wild ones? And I mean, I don't have to say my every time. Y'all are some fantastic wild ones. Or, you know, subscribe and be one of our wild ones, or subscribe and join the wildlife family. Nothing's set in stone, you know. Anyway, how old are them goats? Eric asked. They range in age, but one way to tell their age roughly is by the size of their horns. The longer their horns, the older they are. Faye is, she's 4 years old. Mimi is 3 years old. Bast over here is not even a full year old yet. Noe down there is 1.5 years old. And Elsa over here is also only like 8 months old. She's got her head way in the bale. But yeah, they're between 1 and 4 years old. And 0 years old, I guess. We got some babies over in the barn. We got some 2-week-olds in the barn. We might head back over there and go say hi to them one more time before we wrap things up. And is goat milk healthier than cow's milk? It's not necessarily healthier. However, goat's milk has less lactose in it. So people who are lactose intolerant can stomach goat's milk better. So I don't know if I'd say it's better for you, but it's for people who have a sensitivity towards lactose, it's better for you. It's just got the less lactose enzyme, So if we're gonna say that that's making it better for you, then yes, goat's milk is better for you. And Tyrannicult says, dress the goats up for Halloween. And is pond on your property? I don't have a pond. Instead, I have a full-on lake. If you can see the lake in the background there. I'm actually on a peninsula. So for my property, I've got 156 acres off-grid, and the lake goes all the way around. The only access is on the north side over there. That lake goes all the way around. Forest in between, but the lake goes all the way around. So it really is my own little piece of paradise here. And is lake on your property? Technically up here in Canada, Fisheries and Oceans has control over the lake. I have property under the lake, but it doesn't mean people can't fish on it. There's no other people out here, so it's private. Every once in a while, someone will get a fishing boat into this lake. You can access my lake from another lake that's got some access. Otherwise, it's very quiet, very private. Let's go say hi to the baby goats one more time here. And Fun Guy says, skinny dipping? I haven't done it, but I could. Hi guys. Let me face the camera so I can read the comments, and I'll zoom you guys down so you guys can see the goats zooming around and playing while I chat with you guys. And Dora says, lovely beard / mustache. Very handsome man. Thank you, Dora. I appreciate that. And Fun Guy says, skinny dipping. Do it. Do it. Not on live stream. You got to pay extra for that. That's a joke, guys. That's a joke. And 13 says, babies. Yes. And little Frou-Frou is hiding in the corner. Sorry, Frou-Frou. These are the 3 boys and mama. Frou-Frou is the girl. She's not as big as the boys, and so she doesn't get as much milk. Hey, be nice. And mama's a little mean to Frou-Frou. So Frou-Frou spent much time in the house, and I bottle feed her. She does get some milk off of mom. She does eat some of the grain. Like I put some grain. You'll see a little bit of grain in here. Some fresh hay. This is not bedding. This is actually food over here. And so they have access to it. But little Frou-Frou gets a little bit picked on. So we bottle feed her. She's stretching out, saying hi, guys. She's showing off. But yeah, poor girl. She's the runt of the litter. Mama only has 2 nipples and 4 babies, so they're not all going to get equal shares of mom's milk. The smaller one. Here's a fun fact, guys. When a goat has 4 babies, the baby's likelihood of surviving, baby 3, 75%. Baby 4, 50%. So without human intervention, there's a 50-50 coin flip that the 4th baby dies because it can't get enough food. It gets left out, and the early days are very important. So for the first 4 or 5 days, I had her in the house and I was bottle feeding her because I could tell already after the first 24 hours, she was not getting that early nutrients she needed, and I wasn't going to risk losing her. So she lived in the house with us. And Landis says, hey, we are breeding our goats right now for spring kids. Do you think we should do it for the fall instead? No, if you could breed them in October, November for a spring birth, that's better. I would say that's better. We allowed ours to breed in the spring so we could have fall babies, and they'll breed again in like December, January. So we'll have babies in the summer. But then we're going to have to stop them from having babies again because what you don't want is, at least up here in Canada, you don't want them born in the winter. You don't want them to be born when it's below 0 degrees. It's too cold. Fun Guy says, you sound like a nice guy. Well, thank you. I try. And 13 says, wow, on percentage of survival. Dora says, how would they react if you pet them? Oh, I can show you, Dora. Scooch. So I got to preface this. Not all goats are going to be this friendly. Not all animals are going to be this friendly. Know your animals. Know what you're getting into before you just, get into it. But we're homesteaders. We're not a commercial farm. And so the animals are very used to us. We spend every day with them. We spend time with them every single day. And so the animals here, they're very used to us. I was actually here for this guy, all these goats' birth. I helped the mom give birth to all them. So they immediately kind of imprint on you. You're one of the first things they smell. And so they give you kisses. Don't eat my beard. I don't think that's the kind of trim I'm desiring. Okay. Oh, they don't really like being held. They tolerate it because I'm me. He's tolerating it because of who I am. But he'd rather be on the ground. Oh. Oh. This is Stallion over here. Hey, big guy. Hey, big guy. And so, yeah. Now, in a commercial setting, in a more less hands-on farm, the goats might be freaking out when you pick them up. They might not like this. But we're, like I said, very hands-on, spend a lot of time with them. I was here to help the mom give birth to these guys. So I'm one of the first things they interacted with in this world. And so, yeah. And Landis says, yeah, we've been told by our uncle, without intervention, they will definitely die. And they need a heat lamp and stuff. He used to have like 20 goats and sheep. You definitely want to keep them warm. And I wouldn't say they definitely are going to die without human intervention. I mean, they managed to survive all the time without it. However, in a situation like this, if I had these 4 babies and I wasn't there, for sure Fufu would have died. Not only did she not get that initial food, I think the reason she didn't have that initial energy to get that initial food was because when mom gave birth to her, she birthed her against the wall of the barn and then lied down. And so she was getting squished. And so I was able to get in there and pull mom off and get the baby out. But, if I wasn't there, I think mom would have just lied down and not got up. So, yeah, human intervention definitely increases your chance of survival and also creates a better bond with the animals. This one here is going to have horns. I can feel the horns. The white one and Fufu don't have any horns starting. The black one and this one do. So it's not a male-female thing. It's a genetics thing. Dad doesn't have horns. Mom does. 50-50 chance. It looks like 2 of them are going to, 2 of them won't. Does that make sense? Have you seen Silence of the Lambs? It is so good. I have not actually seen Silence of the Lambs. What is that, a 1960s horror film? It's got to be around the 60s, or is it even earlier? Is it the 50s? I know it's an old one. It's a classic. Fun Guy says you should have an Airbnb. 1991? Are you sure? Silence of the Lambs? I feel like it's older. Maybe it is 91. I feel like it's a lot older. I feel like that's like down with the Children of the Corn and all that. I should have an Airbnb. I am planning. So my current house right here, I do plan to turn it into an Airbnb in probably about 5 years. I need to build another house on this property. That's going to take a lot of time. So once I build that house, then I will be able to open this one up for, short-term rentals. That is the plan. That is in the plan. There's not a lot of people up here, but it's a great fishing resort. So people would definitely travel up here for fishing and hunting. And I mean, the whole homestead aesthetic is pretty cool too. And Punch Buggy says, that's very interesting about the horns. I did not know they were genetic. Always thought they all got horns at some point. No, and sometimes what some farmers do, so I like the horns. For cows horns can be scary. Because cows are 1,000 pounds and the horns grow nice and sharp and they can be scary. For goats, I've never been headbutt by a goat on purpose. They've never on purpose hurt me. I've been smacked, but not on purpose. And so there are farmers who will do what's called, I think it's debudding. They will scald the scalp right now when the horns are just coming in. They will burn the tops of their heads off and stop the horns from ever coming through. They'll burn it off. I don't know why. I don't see a point. They're not a dangerous animal. They are a friendly animal. They're not a dangerous animal. If you had a mean goat, get rid of that mean goat, but don't burn its horns off. For me, it's part of their personality. It's how they interact with each other. It's how they develop a pecking order. They're constantly headbutting against each other and kind of, battling it out for dominance. Even the little guy's trying to figure out how to headbutt mama. It's just in their DNA. And so when you then take away their horns, I feel like you're just taking a part of their humanity away. That being said, I do take their nuts away if don't cover his ears. I do. If I can't find someone who wants one with them intact for breeding, I do castrate them so I don't have to worry about inbreeding. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, but as far as horns go, I take the horny away. I don't take the horns away. Does that make sense? That should be my catchphrase. That should be my new slogan. Anyway, fun guy really wants to skinny dip with me. Cheers. Punch Buggy says, oh, that's terrible that they would prevent the horns from growing. And yes, that makes sense. Well, guys, Seedwag says, just don't castrate human kids like Kamala wanted. Kamala wanted to castrate human kids? Are we talking about the castration drugs that they want to give to human children? Okay, fun talks. On the topic of losing your nuts, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to have some lunch. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. So far, it is 32% that you guys want to be called my wild lifers. So subscribe if you want to be one of our wild lifers, or Wild Ones is in the head at 35%. We're going to do multiple streams with multiple polls. I'm probably going to drop My Wild Fam off and find another option. And we'll do this multiple times to figure out what our community should be called. Freshly, how you doing? So as of right now, guys, stay wild, and we